Hello, Ectosage here on the Sage channel, and welcome back to more Satisfactory. Now, instead of me going ahead and running around and trying to show off everything in the game, I'm just going to go ahead and show off one of my bases. I'm in love with this game, I will not lie. It actually reminds me a lot of, believe it or not, Jack and Daxter, and the fact that it's got a bunch of exploration mechanics. A bunch, and that's a lot of what I've been doing. But I've also built this base, which was just another world. I ran over here to this sort of beautiful desert biome, and went ahead and just started here and built myself some stuff up. And I've been exploring the desert and gathering loads of stuff, and right now I'm actually on top of a little rock outcropping. But I figured I'd go ahead and show my base, and actually even show my power supply, which is actually way up there. If you see that bits of smoke, that's where my power is coming from to power all the nonsense I got down here. And I'm quite happy with how this base turned out. So, let's get down from up here on this rock outcropping, and hopefully not get poisoned by these lovely cruel demon plants. And as you can see, I did build ladders to get up here. I've been using these to get all sorts of places. I almost got on top of that big mountain there, but I ended up running back down after, after trying to get onto something else way over there, which is like, I have a little bit of footage I hopefully can put in right now. There was another one of those magic markery things floating around on top of that, and yeah, it took me quite a while to get to it. There we go. Ladder deleted. Last thing we want is just leaving resources laying around. I could, of course, leave it there if I ever wanted to get back on top of that, but I don't think I have anything else to get from up there. I got the one friendly slug that was sitting up there, so I can add it to my stash of a billion other slugs that I will quickly turn into materials for later building. If you watched my live stream on Friday, I actually did make it to this biome then, but I didn't really build anything, and all I really did was, well, get that same slug. Today, in my faffing about on my own, I've been pretty much everywhere here. Let's run back to our little rover, and you'll actually see how many little things I've been collecting. Whoop! There we go. So I've gotten 3 of those, some silica, which is from, like, fungi stuff, and, let's see, add this little guy to it, and add him to it. There you go, so you can see a fair few things, as well as these which still break your game, it seems. Even though I was hanging out with Drong the Drone earlier, and he was actually able to click on the complete research thing without it crashing the game. But of course I was hosting and he was just joining. Anyhow, let's start the tour of our base from out here. This is where we're mining up these stuffs for concrete and instantly refining it and shipping it all the way back to our beautiful, beautiful base way over here. And as you can see, I've spaced things out a little bit more than the previous bases I've shown on stream or in my last video. This place is, well, a little bit nicer. Now, I still can't drive the rover from this side to the other, so I'll have to tear it down if we want to go that way. But I just like to show how I put all of this together, and the best way to do that is actually probably if we were to go to this and stick in a lookout tower so we can get some height and look back down upon it. I've been sticking these in a little bit to actually do some building as well as just get a better idea of what I'm tossing together. There we go. Alright, so from here you can see we have an iron mine. I'm splitting it into 3, then I'm smelting it 3 times over, and then I got crafting machines. All 3 of those are probably working on steel plates. In fact, I can go ahead and go into our zoomy function with a P button, and you can see, yes, it is steel plate. So that's just steel plate storage. They're all the way full up, but then I have them running all the way over here to all of my main storage stuff. Because basically I figured, well, instead of trying to run to all these different facilities and grabbing storage, or the materials I need for crafting, why not stick it all in one spot so everything funnels back there? This is the same exact thing with pipes. And then of course you can see from the distance the same exact layout that we have elsewhere, except for with copper and it's making wires, and partway down its track, I then turn it into actual proper wires instead of just the copper spools. Again, all of it comes down here. The only thing I don't have for channeling down here is the stuff from over there where I'm making more complex parts very slowly. It's not efficient at all. Anyway, I don't think there's much else to show here. Let's go ahead and run ourselves over to our actual setup here where we can talk about our old power supply, which is pretty much just like the one I showed in the last video I put out, where I have a bunch of these that are no longer in use. I showed you the smokestacks earlier. I'm now running on coal power, so all this stuff is just, well, pointless. It's just a leftover from a bygone age. God, I love the way those towers look when you leave them laying around. It's just, I don't know, it just looks great. I love it. And I love this zone, too. Let's go ahead really quickly. And again, like I said, these are all of my lovely storages full up like crazy because I've been playing for ages and not necessarily efficiently managing all my stuff. But give me a moment and I'm going to drop off some things and sort it. Alrighty, there we go. Most things sorted. It occurs to me that Drong had shown me these earlier, and I never actually got a clear look at them, these circuit boards and computers. So let's go ahead and actually drop some of those on the floor, shall we? Computer, circuit board. Look very similar, actually. Also, very beautiful. Alrighty. Also, something that I've realized, and I should have known before, shift left click. You can move stuff in and out of your inventory like that. Incredibly useful. What do these guys look like if we were to drop them real quick? Ah, interesting. Okie dokie. Anyway, with that faff over, let's go ahead and look at more of our base. I did set myself up a little tiny workshop area here because I got sick of running back and forth to that one and then out to here to work on something. So I set up our whole workshop area here right with our own sort of crafting bench. And then of course, like I had in the previous video, I have one of these things here. We can drop off our leaves and drop off our wood here. So it'd go through and, well, sort everything out. And I actually built a structure for it this time and decided to actually use the conveyors going through walls nonsense to set that all up. So it all flows into here. Wood goes down there, pretty simply gets converted into biofuel stuff. Well, the simple bio stuff. And then into there to get turned into the proper bio stuff before going around that conveyor on the far wall and back out. The other leafy goodness goes in and gets turned into good stuff up here in this guy before going back down. So if we were to look from here, you can see it's all being sorted. This will loop all the way down, merge into our friend down there before again coming up and out and whoop-a-doop-whoop back through there. It's all a wibbly wobbly, not so timey-wimey mess. But I think it looks pretty beautiful actually. And I stuck into a building to see just how much space you could have in here. Everything kind of feels like there's still a lot of excess space, but it's an alright place to run about in. And then of course I went ahead and actually capped it off with a nice little lookout tower at the very, very top. So yeah, you get a place to stand and admire the world with railings around everything. Anyway, that's just the gist of this. We can move on from here to the next set of machines, which again, we've already seen that pretty much and I explained how it turns things in there, but over there we have more of our forking machines, which go ahead and cut everything in the smaller, more manageable stacks. I think we should survive this. Yep, coolio. And you can see this is making motors, this is making heavy-duty armor, and you'll actually see that it's actually forking that out. So some gets stored and then some gets taken over here to this guy who uses it and iron rods to go ahead and make these modular frames. We got a fair few of those, but not the most in the world. It's not particularly efficient, this setup I have here. I think the best way, again, to look at this guy would be to go ahead and stick in another one of these lovely lookout towers. So Kerplunk, I think that's a good spot for one. Head up there, and ta-da! So again, mining, I've upgraded the conveyor belts on this so they can move a lot faster, so hence the reason they're all super duper backed up. Actually, with that, I could probably go ahead and expand this out and make it more efficient, but hey, we'll cross that bridge in the future. You can see these guys are pumping out their ingots. This is just turning it into plates, which go straight on down there. This is turning it into rods, which is split between this and this. This guy makes it into screws and sends them that way. This guy is also making those rods, which forks it that way and straight into there, which again turns them into screws and sends them that way. Absolutely crazy, inefficient. It is not satisfactory. But it's what we got right now. In the future, once the game's fully released into proper alpha, I'm sure I'll revisit it if I don't just make a whole new factory, because I have a habit of just, well, saying, I'm done with this and moving on. Anyhow, let's go ahead and head up there, the beautiful waterfall world, and see what we might see. And yes, I did put the space elevator in water, because I could, and I think it looks really, really good in water, actually. Grab ourselves a little bit more fuel too here before we head out into the great beyond. And when I say great beyond, I mean it's just a bit of a road trip. Alrighty, there we go. Let's head on that road trip now. We'll go ahead and resummon our vehicle that I tore down a minute ago off screen. Boop, boop. And that's obviously not going to work unless I put some fuel in it, so I'll shift left click that into the goodness, and away we go! On our way to our power supply area, and you can see power cables I have strung all over the place. Up here we'll actually have a choice of going left or right. I'm pretty sure if we went to the right, there's a arching path up here that would lead us up to our power area. I didn't go that way to get there. I took a bit of a longer way, so we're going to go the longer way since I've actually gone ahead and went back and, well, built a bridge over the water. Also, you'll see that up the waterfall, our power lines actually go up it, ping-ponging from rock to rock. That was a little bit of fun setting that up. I basically set up that highest pillar there while I was up there, and then came down here and tried to build out towards it until I could connect the wires, then destroyed all of my scaffolding. So we could string our wires down that without having to actually have permanent scaffolding there. I think it looks pretty pretty. Originally I was going to go ahead and string my wires this way, but I got to this point and realized I don't know how long it's going to take me to get to the coal that I was pinging up this way, so I gave up on it. And of course, if this early access period was going to continue for longer, I might be tempted to take work off tomorrow and go ahead and explore that mountain, as it does seem like it has even another biome of trees where it's gone from desert to, I don't know, blue tree land, which is very interesting. By the way, those big round things we just passed, they give you mycelium if you go ahead and cut them down. Oh, and I never got that marker thing. Well, so be it. It will have to stay because there's too much poison here to bother getting it right now. But look at that. Doesn't it look like a... It reminds me so much of something out of like Jack and Dexter. Like you look at it and it's like, oh yeah, I can see a path where it's clearly looping around the mountain multiple times, and it'd be like a jumping puzzle to get up there. And this game has a fair few nice little jumping puzzles. And of course, if you ever get afraid to jump, you can just build. And look, yet another interesting biome of some sort, which might even lead you back into the original starting area. Who knows? Everything in this game is very well connected. You can loop around and just keep finding more and more cool areas. I freaking love this game. And it gives you a good idea of how far video games have come, too, because since it does keep reminding me of Jack and Dexter, I think of all the different times you had to hit a loading screen or something back then, during the PS2 era. And now, you can be in one great big open world, and you don't even have to have a loading screen, and you can build in all this and harvest pretty much everything you see. Games have come a long way. Oh, and now we get to look at these lovely big floating... I have no idea what the hell they are things. You can't cut them down, I tried. They're just something beautiful to look at for the current time being. I have nothing more to say on them, really. This game is painfully beautiful and enjoyable. Anyway, we are up to my power area. As you can see, it's slightly nicer than the last one I showed. Carrying on with what I'm basically setting up for all this is, well, hey look, it's much more refined than the last world. Ta-da, smoky stacks. It's pretty simple. That power line just goes that way and ping-pongs off those rocks. And if we were to circle around this lake, I believe it would lead us back down to where we were previously. Alright, well, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share, like, what I built in this beautiful world. No big, long explanation of anything. Nothing too complex. I'm not sure I've actually opened this before, but whatever, we'll pass that up. I'm just going to keep exploring. Unfortunately, this early access period is ending soon, so I won't be able to keep on exploring for too much longer, but gosh darn it. Oh, there's a worm I could grab. I love this game. I'm really looking forward to March 19th. Anyway guys, that'll be that. Thanks so much for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Ta-ta! Alright, so maybe the video doesn't end right there. Maybe I just found a way to get up onto the very top plateau with all those red trees, so we're gonna get up there first. And then we'll end the video, because, I mean, come on. If we're this close, I might as well go to see another biome in the same video. Oh, I'm not sure I'll be able to get up those rocks. Oh, I did it. Cool. Huh, and that's a strange blockage. Drong was mentioning that he saw a lot of these in places where he thought the developers were trying to stop people from getting places, but of course I'd rather them put silly stupid rocks to block off unfinished areas than invisible walls, Because of course I can do this. And just climb straight up it. And then resummon our vehicle and keep on exploring. I do kind of hope that in the full game, they'll still let you tear apart and resummon your vehicle so easily, but I suspect they might end up tweaking that a bit, so you'll be less tempted. Oh, this is beautiful. It's unfinished, clearly. But it is beautiful. Ooh. Ooh. I do love the ragdoll in this game. I love that you can knock yourself over with your own vehicle. And hey, just press E and it pops back up. Jesus. Look at that view. I really like this game.